this is Josh Holtzclaw, graphic artist at Pixar, and you are listening to the Master of One podcast. And you can check out my work at bigfriendco.com.
Welcome to another episode of the Master of One podcast, the podcast that's walking on air. Part 1 this week, we talk about Hero Complex Gallery, La La Land, Hot Toys, Baby Groot, and not Kingsman, the Golden Circle. We also welcome back Tom Whalen for his monthly segment, 10 with Tom. I'm Andrew, your Master of Art and Design.
I'm Patrick, your Master of Television and Film.
And I'm Luke, your Master of Toys and Games.
So raise a glass to the ones who are just foolish enough to dream, because it's time for another episode.
Are we able to walk on sunshine?
We like to kick every episode off by going around the table, which is where we talk about something new, fun, and noteworthy about our weeks. Patrick, why don't you take us down a trip to Memory House?
How did you know that's what I called it? So actually, my week very much so involved you because I saw you all this past week.
You got really reflective towards the end of that sentence.
Well, so I had this really weird moment because last week we talked about a bit of the development process leading up to you being here. So I had this flash of like, wait, did Andrew come 2 weeks ago? Like I had this like a bit of a crazy moment, but no, you were just here. You were in Chattanooga all last week.
I've been home for roughly 48 hours at this point, and I'm still recovering.
Exactly. So my week was a lot of that. Honestly, it's been slammed. You know, we're getting ready to go to this. Getting ready to go to San Antonio. There's a very awesome Mondo show this weekend. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. And in preparation for that, there's just a lot of work that's kind of got to be wrapped up. And so I've been pretty busy in the pop culture side of things. I told you I was going to start Better Call Saul. I'm 4 episodes into the second season now. I've started the podcast S-Town. I don't know if y'all have heard of it. The recommendation came up from a couple people in the Slack channel. The latest one was I Am Rita Kiss, just finished it, and I'm actually 4 episodes into S-Town right now, and it is like we came home today and Mackenzie didn't turn on the TV. She didn't do anything. She just sat on the couch and just listened to S-Town. It is like that enthralling.
Is it a podcast based on the song by Live?
It's where the people from S Club Miami live. They also call it S-Town. Okay. S Club 7. Just kidding. No, the deal is it's about a guy that lives in... he's in... what city in Alabama? It's going to slip my mind naturally because I was going to say it. But he lives in Alabama, not that far outside of Birmingham. And he gets in touch with one of these reporters. And it's one of the people that worked on Serial, I believe, or it's like kind of the same group of people. And he says that there's been a murder that in his town that was swept under the rug, and he wants them to come investigate. And that's kind of what kicks it off. But the guy is just this incredibly huge personality. He's you're not sure how many parts genius and how many parts just absolutely insane this person is. Yeah. And it starts diving into the story from there. And it is just, it is a cast of characters like you wouldn't believe. So give yourself about, honestly, you only need about 15 minutes for the first episode. And I'm pretty sure you'll be hooked, if nothing else, because you'll be laughing out loud every other sentence because it is crazy. There's some phrases that I can't repeat because we are family friendly. But as soon as we hang up the Skype call, I'm going to say them to you because they are colorful.
Would you say that maybe you would be saying them at us?
Well, yeah, it depends. I would say that completely depends on you. So that's been most of my week. But I think there was a highlight of the week, and I think this can probably bleed into Andrew's. But Andrew, you and I, it was your first time and my first time. We went to a place in Chattanooga called the Coin Op Arcade. So if you just want to pick it up from there.
Sure. So we went to the Coin Op Arcade, which is it's what it sounds like. It's an arcade filled with vintage pinball machines and arcade machines. It's in Chattanooga and in downtown. But what's cool about it, besides the arcade, it's also a bar. And what's cool about it even further, besides being just a bar, it's also a cereal bar. So you can order cereal at this counter, and they do not skimp on the cereal. I mean, it was like a bowl, a hearty bowl, and I ordered Apple Jacks. I hadn't had anything to eat. for dinner, and we had already been just all over the place, and so I was ready to eat something, and it was cool that they had Applejack. So, but you would love it, Luke. It's like, the entire decor is like nostalgic 80s and 90s toys and things. Like they had a Nickelodeon alarm clock.
Nice.
They had old, like original Ninja Turtle toys like all over the place. They had
the tip jar was the van, like the Ninja Turtles
the tip
van.
jar was the party van, like the original one.
Cool.
So it's just a really, really rad place. And on top of that, the owner is super cool. I got to talk to him for a little bit, and while I was asking him why this, why is this the thing that you decided to do? And he's been doing it now for like 2 years, he said. But during the process of talking to him, he's super cool. And I said, hey, do you have anything to buy, like any swag or anything like that? And he's like, yeah, I've got a couple things. So he reached down under the counter and comes back up with like a couple of different koozies and a little coin, squeezable coin purse deal.
I have one of those from Traplin.
Right. But it totally makes sense for this arcade, right, to have a coin thing. And he sets it on the table. I'm like, cool. And I grabbed one of the things. So I always want to support, local stuff like that. So I grabbed one of them and I laid a $5 bill down because they were all for sale. And he's like, no. He's like, take them all. I don't want your money. So he's just like a super cool dude.
That's cool.
Who apparently is too good for my money. So if you are in the Chattanooga area, I would for sure check that place out. It is incredible. Other than that, it's just been breakneck pace doing design work and knocking stuff out. We watched Veep. Veep kicked off last week, and Patrick, I believe, talked about it on the show last week.
Yeah, absolutely.
But episode 2, man, I'm just more.
I haven't watched it yet. I have episode 2 of Veep. I have episode 1 of Silicon Valley, and they're both waiting on me right now.
Yeah. So if you're not watching Veep, first of all, that probably means you're a better person than I am. It is arguably one of the most irreverent shows on television right now, which makes it even more ironic that they debuted it on Easter. But Tony Hale is he is the star of this show. Even though, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, whatever it is, she's top billed. Tony Hale knocks it out of the park with this show, and I'm more and more convinced that he is just an incredible actor. I mean, he plays Buster Bluth on Arrested Development. He's also, ironically, I found this out. I guess I say ironically. It is ironically. He's a Christian. He's a man of faith. He follows Jesus, and he is on arguably one of the roughest shows when it comes to filth. It's not like you're not going to see nudity, you're not going to see sex or anything like that. But the amount of gutter jokes, you could probably, if you did a drinking game of gutter jokes from that show, you would be blasted halfway through, right, Patrick? I mean.
Oh, I think sooner than that. Depends on your tolerance. But
that's true. Yeah, it depends on how much of a lightweight you are. So anyway, I watched that and have been enjoying that. And otherwise, it's just been a lot of design work and preparing for this weekend, which is going to be a big weekend for us. So we'll get to that stuff later, though, like Patrick alluded to. Luke, why don't you take us home for this one?
Yeah. You know what, man? This week it's been a long week. Just a lot of work getting ready for this week. Right now we have a catalog shoot all week, shooting some auto parts, and so just planning for that. And Matt, my business partner, they had their baby last week, so that was busy. It's been a week.
I didn't even know Matt was pregnant.
Catch?
Yeah, I caught. Yep, I got the name.
That's awesome.
Did
man.
you film it?
Yep.
Congratulations.
Did you have like a 4K No.
Yeah. It'll be available exclusively on
to
Oculus
patrons?
Rift.
Oh no!
No, it's a point of view coming out though.
Right.
Oh,
no, it's the
okay.
baby.
All right, I can get on board with that. I want to know: did you shoot it pre or post labor?
Well, post obviously. It's just
okay. Great. There was extra room in there for
Yeah,
a bit
exactly.
while everything
There's a
kind of
camera fit.
contracted back. Patrick hates this.
It was a
started
50-pound IMAX camera.
Patrick started it, and he immediately regrets the decision
Yeah, he
to
does.
take us down.
I don't know.
Because
the
I
birth
haven't
canal.
had to taint my mind with that
Taint.
yet.
That's
Like
a good
Mackenzie,
Yeah, I can't believe you ended that sentence on the word taint.
I had like
Phrasing.
a thing in my throat. I don't know.
Anyway, we digress. The the point is, this week has been a long week, and this week will be a long week. And I am just playing ESO and playing board games. I got D&D Friday night, and it's going to be good. Other than that, man, it's just work and just that's it.
Sometimes you're busy. Sometimes you got stuff to
and
do.
You know, it's good because I'm making money, and so that's really all I can ask for is to be able to provide for my family doing what I love, and so that's what I'm doing.
That's true.
Other than that, Black Sails. Just watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's so good.
You're still on that
kick,
huh?
So good, dude. It's so good. I got a chance to talk to Amgarsh. He called me because of Black Sails. We FaceTimed from his backyard, and he's like, "Hey, this is the set of Black Sails," and it looks like it because he's in Bermuda, and it's beautiful. So it was awesome to talk to him and Chrislyn. She's super cute, and he's just the goodest dude. I like him.
I've realized that
he told me one of the most terrifying ghost stories I've ever heard, though.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, you did hear it? Because I knew he was going to.
He told it to me. I have since told it to two other people. One person cried.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Chandra?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Chandra.
I don't want to hear it.
Nope.
There's no way.
No, an adult person teared up at the thought of it because it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Is it is it a true thing that happened?
It's a true thing that happened. Here's what happened.
Okay. No. Here's my
I'm not
vote.
Gonna do it.
Let's get Amgarsh to tell it for our patrons.
Oh yeah,
that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Because Luke doesn't contribute to the show, so he doesn't have to hear it.
Okay, so we will sometime within the next month, because we have to coordinate it. This is off the cuff. We'll get Amgarsh to tell our patrons the ghost story that made Andrew cry.
Yeah, and he said that there's actually more details to it that his wife has, so that she can actually do a better job telling the story. So maybe it's a team effort. I don't know. We'll see.
Cool. Right. I like
anyway, we have gone off rails multiple times. Luke, you just have a terrible time keeping us on track.
Yep.
Yeah, I would for sure blame it on Luke.
That's
Absolutely.
Fine. That's fine.
All right, well, so then that's it for our Around the Table. Up next, the Special 10 with Tom. Every month, we sit down with one of our good friends, Mr. Tom Whalen, for a segment that we like to call 10 with Tom. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome him back to the show, Mr. Tom Whalen.
Thank you, guys. Good to be back.
I need a vuvuzela or something.
Yeah, okay. or at least an air horn.
Yeah, totally.
That's what we do in our hearts whenever we see you, Tom.
I like the sound of that.
So tonight, let me just say, you're looking a lot more dapper, a lot more polished. You're not wearing a baseball hat tonight.
That could be it. That could be the only difference.
You look like a guy who is ready to get down to business.
Showered.
So this is the first time we've seen Tom showered. Apparently,
that's all it takes.
Okay. That speaks wonders. So or speaks volumes. Speaks wonders. Is that a thing?
Nope, it's not.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so you got the
Tom
mic. Takes it, he's good. So we, if you've been around, you know the drill. If this is something that's new to you, Tom comes on our show, graciously affords us 10 minutes of his time, and he will not give us 1 second more. He's been very clear about that. So what we do is we give him 10 minutes, and he just has the floor.
Every time too. That's the weird part.
Yeah, he's like, remember, guys, we said 10 minutes.
Anyway,
he has
the wrist.
Yeah. He has a timer that he holds up passive aggressively as he's talking. But he comes and he brings something new and noteworthy from his world, something he's working on. Sometimes we get to ask him questions. Usually it ends with us saying a whole lot of things that he's not allowed to talk about.
I'm super busy. I can't tell you.
Exactly. He's always under NDA. But fortunately, this time we have something that we can talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and set the timer. And we're going to get things up and running. Are you ready, Tom?
Go for it.
All right, your 10 minutes starts now. Tell us who you are, what you're doing, what's going on with Tom Whalen, and then let's talk about your pieces. That's a weird thing to say.
So
we've been building a relationship, obviously, over time. So.
Way to kick that segment off. So I am super excited. This week is the new Mondo Disney, I believe it's called Never Grow Up show in Austin, and I'm heading down for a few pieces in the show, which should be showing soon, debuting this week.
Yeah, I would hope, because the show is Friday. We're sitting. This is Tuesday on the release day. We're sitting just a handful of days away, and we've seen so many pieces coming out. They're teasing things out left and right. It seems like every day they're adding one or two more pieces to the very impressive lineup, and yet to see any Whalen pieces showing up on my Instagram feed or my Twitter feed. And so I've been patiently waiting. I guess I'll have to patiently wait a couple more days.
I've been impatiently waiting.
Oh, Patrick is just in a fury of he's just constantly yelling because he can't wait any longer.
Well, because I think
actually
we've seen the entire artist roster, right?
Yeah, they announced that.
They revealed that, yeah.
So I'm just weighing the number of artists against the number of pieces we've seen, and it's not adding up right now. Like, I feel like there's just so much that's still
and I gotta say, I'm
in
excited
mystery.
when I see. I haven't seen. I only saw a few before as the show was going. As all the artists were working. So, I'm excited every time there's a reveal. I've heard who's paired up with what properties, but to actually see them is just as exciting for me too.
So let's talk about that here for a second. And so per the usual, we are going to have to shroud some of this in mystery because it's not yet time to reveal the properties you've worked on. But let's talk a little bit about what's different about this show, because this will be the second Disney show you've worked on with Mondo. Their big Disney show. This one is in conjunction with Oh My Disney and with Cyclops. We're seeing some different aesthetic coming out of this show already than we saw in the previous show. Are you feeling that same I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Like, are you noticing that as well, or do you feel like this is on par with what you expected from the last show?
Maybe it's on par with what I expected from the Cyclops and Mondo tag team, because I think they have I don't know if it's understood or written or what, but there is a level of quality and just a general vibe to all those pieces. So I know what you're saying. I'm trying to think back to that first show and think if there's anything that really tied all those pieces together.
Can I give you my take on it? And we were talking about this a little bit before you joined us in the conversation. It seems like the first show was a little bit more light and airy, a little bit more fun and playful. This one seems like a lot of the pieces are coming out. Not that they're dark, like in an evil kind of way, but the theme seems to be a lot more. It's driven more toward maybe more obscure, and just even visually
and
just
from
darker.
what I heard last time, there was a couple pieces that got bounced for being too dark. I don't think that's a concern this time, because I just saw the Fantasia today, and that's phenomenal. And same with Bambi. So and I don't know that those two pieces would have flown in the last show. So
Well, and the Little Mermaid piece, I think, epitomizes it. I mean, that piece is all grayscale. It's black and white. And you think Little Mermaid, you think you would see Ariel somewhere in that, and you see her nowhere. It's just it's Ursula, and she's taken up 80% of this piece, and it's so from your perspective, without saying the properties that you worked on, did you approach this show differently than you approached the first one that you did?
For me, I just I kind of, they told me just do your thing, just don't and it's funny that that prevailing sentiment of like a darker theme is coming up for you, because I don't know that all the artists got together and hashed that out. But it may have, the artists that tend to go darker may have been allowed to do their thing. But for me, I did my take on the properties that I was assigned. So I don't think that I don't think that follows suit for the darker stuff that's been coming out.
So following the thread of artists getting together, I remember I think maybe one of the last big gallery shows we talked about that you were in was Inforama. It was you and Tong and Matt Taylor. And you were talking a lot about how the three of you sharing work together in your process really pushed each one of you to your best work, right? Because, you would see what someone else was doing and it'd blow you away, and you would feel the need to, I got to step up my game for this. When you move into a show of this size, with this many artists, is it still possible to almost collaborate in some ways with people, or are you kind of more on your own?
I think if you share within the community, like we definitely like talk and share work between us. Matt Taylor and I pass stuff back and forth occasionally, but I kind of did this in a vacuum. I do say Rob at Mondo is probably the nexus point of all of this, so he has a hand in everything, so and he sees everything and directs everything, so he probably, if anything, can steer stuff in a certain direction as a theme. But I've never had that kind of feedback from him where he would say, well, everybody else is doing dark, why don't you go dark? So there is, on my end, there's sharing, I share a lot with Dave Perillo, just daily bounce back and forth. Hey, what do you think of this? Does the composition work? Colors, whatever. But there's not, for this big of a show, I didn't share a whole lot back and forth with the other artists in the show.
Gotcha.
So I want to know from your perspective, and I recognize that this is not official whatsoever, and you're not like the official spokesman of the show.
But
how many pieces should we expect to see overall? Because we've already seen a myriad of pieces, and we know we've seen none of yours yet. So. And I'm guessing several artists are doing several properties. So what's the rough number that we should expect to see at this show?
What I saw James from Cyclops post the other day was that there's 40 artists, but some artists are doing more than one piece. And I know, so there's a minimum of 40, probably a lot more, because
Mondo's not big enough for this.
Right, that's where my head's going.
They're going to be on the floor and stuck to the ceiling.
My guess is that that does not even include variants, any kind of variants, because that, I think it's going to be a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I'm wondering, and you can't.
I have to cash out my 401k now.
I know.
I have a couple days.
You can't confirm or deny this, but I'm wondering, as we were looking through stuff, I was wondering if we're gonna see any other paraphernalia besides prints at the show.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I know there are no originals. I know it's been said there are no originals.
But there's no pins, maybe some
wish,
Tom Whalen pins.
I can confirm that now.
You can
not even some more Marvel pins because you've only made 60 of them so far.
Yeah, just go ahead and round out the other 40 and just make it an even 100, and we'll just
it's Disney.
Yeah.
It's all Disney.
I'm guessing they're looking for as much inch space as they possibly can. I don't know how they're going to funnel everybody. I know the show is running
stuff on the roof right now. They're putting grid walls on the roof.
This is just nuts. I mean, I'm thinking about the crowd. I'm thinking about Inforama, and then I'm also thinking about the crowd from when a couple of the shows Andrew's been to at Mondo. I'm trying to picture what this weekend's going to look like. It's going to be a madhouse.
I cannot speak to this show. I don't know what the last one was 3 years ago. But that show, there was probably a line during the day that I would conservatively estimate was a quarter of a mile long. I went for lunch, and I can remember just driving, and the line just snaked through those neighborhoods.
Square footage wise, how big would you say Mondo is? Like 700 square feet?
Negative.
No idea.
It's not big.
I mean, I would say 600 to 700 is a fair guess.
So I'm saying if you haven't been before, because I think some people are listening and they don't have any idea. Like, this is a gallery space. I mean, it is I don't know what they're going to do to the area, but it's, when I was there, white walls, and the two times I've been,
floating walls they can put in the middle. I'm sure they'll need to.
They'll be having some modulars for sure.
But if you're imagining, you're
it's
talking
just
about the last
be
show,
a
but
maze.
still, if
you go in the front door and snake out to the back door
people,
and just leave.
Yep.
You can't
if
stop.
you're imagining that many people going through 700 square feet of space, it's just
they totally
it's going to be a madhouse.
Basically, limit at the door. They have to, just crowd capacity.
Oh yeah, there's just going to be constantly regulation. So your 10 minutes is up. We're going to give you a couple extra seconds
sure.
if you'll grant us that. So just so we can promote the show and tell people where to find us. We're also going to be doing a meetup, and Tom is hopefully we're going to talk to his wife and try to get this all worked out, get the logistics figured out. But we're going to do a meetup while we're in Austin. Patrick is flying in to Austin, so we're going to be we're going to be able to hang out with
Patrick and Mackenzie.
Sorry, Patrick and Mackenzie are going to be there.
That's right.
It's going to be a great time, but tell everybody when the show is and what they what they need to do to get there.
At the Mondo Gallery in Austin, 4115 Guadalupe Street, and it's on Friday, April 28th, and I believe it starts at 3. Okay.
Yeah,
that's right. It does.
Early.
You're killing it. Do you work?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you do work for Mondo. So that's.
Have you ever worked with Mondo?
And I think
really
there's
impressive.
a kids event the next day, and then I think it runs for a few weeks after that. The gallery will be open.
Cool.
And so I imagine if any pieces are, I'm sure they'll keep some pieces available for web purchasing, but that won't happen for probably a few more weeks.
Typically a week or two after the show opens.
And then we should expect any and all APs that you have available to hit maybe a couple months from now.
Yeah, well, it depends. Probably when I get them, it'd probably be maybe a month from now.
Okay, I didn't know how long you have to. If there's like a clearance that you have to wait.
The
until
only
like the
thing I have to wait
clears and
for on Mondo's end is for them to sell out. As soon as they sell out, I could technically sell the minute after they sell out. So.
Sweet.
Cool.
So
that's
Saturday.
I was gonna say. So roughly
sale.
13 seconds after the show opens, you'll be able to sell all of your APs. That's fantastic. Well, dude, thank you again for chatting with us. We look forward to seeing you and hanging out with you and rubbing up on you. That's what you call that, right, Patrick?
It's on my bucket list.
I can do that. I can fulfill that this week.
In Austin,
It's on a list in a bucket, I think, is what you meant.
Dude, I can't wait to see you and hang out and chat again.
Yes,
so
likewise.
we'll see you soon. And if you're in the Austin area, come on out. It's going to be a great time. You'll be able to hang out with us.
Right.
And then there's art too. Up next, Master Categories.
Slammer Jammers.
Every week we talk about our tokens we drew the week before in our Master Category section. And last week, Luke Flowers drew all of our own categories. So congratulations. If you have not listened to that episode, go back and listen to that episode. What a super cool guy. All right, so that means, Patrick, you have TV and film. So why don't you take us away?
Let me get into it.
Take us away? Take it away? Take us to a place.
Yeah, take me away. That song.
I love this. This is great.
Okay, that's gold. Okay, so the deal is that at the beginning of the episode, you said, you go through what we talk about, and you said, and not Kingsman, the Golden Circle. Well, that was because yesterday it was tweeted from the Kingsman official Twitter that they would be releasing their trailer today, and the trailer's for the Golden Circle. That being said, it never showed up. So we go to record. I think this episode we went to start about 10 o'clock tonight. Trailer still hasn't been released. That was what I was planning on talking about. Nothing here. So we go through the recording. We talk to Tom, everything like that. We get done talking with Tom, and the trailer had been put up. Awesome. So we took a break. This is all behind the curtain stuff. We took a break and we watched it. And can I just say that I absolutely loved that trailer. So the picking up in this film, we see the primary headquarters is exploded. Some missile hits it and like sinks it. Eggsy he's in full Kingsman mode. And then we have the Frank Sinatra, I Did It My Way, that is playing in the background, and you're seeing these like cut together action sequences. I am just absolutely so excited for this film. You know, Kingsman has managed to walk a very good line of having levity, being funny, but at the same time being a serious, kind of Bond style action film. And you manage to see it and appreciate it both ways. Like, you take it seriously as a spy film. You take it seriously as a comedy. you're able to enjoy it and allow it to still be believable somehow. It's just a very cool balance they've managed to strike, and that seems to be carried throughout this trailer. So,
and it's not satirical. It actually lives in the realm of the genre, which is weird. I think that's what you mean by hitting a weird balance.
And I think you put it a better way than I just did, because it could easily, like something like Austin Powers is satire.
Yeah, that's a satire.
It is funny, like it is still as funny as going to see a film like that, and yet it doesn't live in that satirical realm. I think very well said. Very excited. So we do see, if you stick around through the trailer, I feel weird spoiling it because we literally just watched it minutes ago. So
it's only been out. It's been out for 5 minutes.
Chances are, we're recording this, if you're listening in the morning, you probably haven't seen it yet. So I'm not going to spoil what happens, but there is actually like a little bit of a. Of course, the trailer is teasing, right? So there's a bit of a tease.
Spoiler.
It's a couple things. So. Just go watch it. There's some new members. There's some kind of old faces. I can't wait to see it. Oh, the cast is incredible. I didn't even need to see the cast. Seeing the film last time, the actor that plays Eggsy, and I can't remember his name right now. I apologize. I should have. A professional would have done their research.
Well, to be fair, you didn't think you were going to be talking about this.
An hour ago, I didn't need to pull it up. The actor that plays Exy, it wasn't a person that I was familiar with. And so that being said, like, the cast really doesn't matter very much to me because I'm already so sold on what the film is going to be based on the first one that I just don't need to know the cast. But it has a very, very strong cast. So very excited for this film. Thank you. Awesome. Very excited for this film. And as a side thing, we also... are just, next week we'll be watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which is incredibly exciting. The review embargo has been lifted, and it's sitting around 90% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So, side note, but get excited, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 will apparently be good, as if we needed any convincing, but I think Kingsman will be great as well. So that's it. That's movies. It's a bunch of trailers and a bunch of looking forward to, but it's exciting stuff for me.
Absolutely. Why don't you hand it over to Luke then?
Sure. Okay. So in the same vein,
I feel like you didn't need me in that transaction. I think that you handled it perfectly well.
Because here's the thing: we know what Luke's getting ready to talk about, and it seems like it would have been a perfect transition for you to be like, "I think Luke, this would be great."
Yeah. You said Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I am talking. Yeah. Yep. And I'm going to talk about Hot Toys announced a baby Groot, a life-size baby Groot. So. This is let's see, how tall is it? 26 centimeters tall.
It's about 11 inches.
About this.
Man, okay, so here's the thing. Hot Toys are incredible, right? They just look amazing. Their level of detail, we have fawned over them for years now. This Groot is no different. It looks great. It looks awesome. The articulation, it's like 15 points of articulation, I think. A couple different faces, some different hands. There's actual cloth clothing that you can put on him. It's awesome. Here's my problem.
Plus, it's 1-to-1 scale.
It's 1-to-1 scale, yeah. It's just, that never happens in the toy world based on a movie property. My problem is this. I am super, super scared that Baby Groot is a whole bunch of hype.
As a character.
Yeah. He's littered through all the trailers, and everybody is loving it.
Well, he's for sure clickbait, right?
Yeah.
The question I think you're asking is he clickbait? But with a level of actual payoff, or is he clickbait like Captain Phasma?
Baby Groot is the way that you get your girlfriend excited about going to see the film you want to see. So just let it happen. Good point.
That is true. So they're missing a key demographic here.
No. So, and I guess so you got the figure, right, Andrew? It will be on its way to you sometime in 2030 or something.
Yeah, it'll be here by the time Cooper graduates.
Right, it's his graduation present, I think. Right. I like you're super excited about it, and I do not want to downplay it because, like I said, the figure is awesome. But I'm wondering, like, I think you said it right. Is this a Captain Phasma? Like, is it going to be the payoff that they are building up to with Baby Groot? And I don't know, man. I'm very, very skeptical. So,
I think it's fair. I mean, I think there's a fair level of distance you want to put yourself on the expectation level because of things like what happened with Captain Phasma.
Right.
But here's what I would say. This isn't Star Wars, and the areas in which they delivered on the front end of it, like Groot in the first film, they teased him up and stuff too, and Rocket, and they fully delivered in the first film. So
right.
I don't know. I would say have a healthy skepticism.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what I'm trying to do. So the other thing that plays into it is since the original film was so huge, they have even more expectations, and the expectations that come from, the Big Brother Disney and all the producers and everything to deliver on this film. And a lot of that is like, people are loving, there's focus groups. People are loving Groot. Let's add more Groot. Let's add this. Let's make him do this.
Right.
And like, I loved Guardians so much. And I am worried, that it will not live up to the hype, and try too hard to beat out its predecessor. Sounds like it's going to deliver. Patrick just said it. It sounds like it's going to be fine. But I guess I'm sick of seeing all of the Baby Groot stuff, and we're not seeing much of any of the other Guardians stuff.
Yeah, I think well, yeah.
Luke, just so you know, Groot still loves you.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
Yeah, he does. I remember him saying specifically, "I am Groot." So, I think you're right. I mean, this movie was first Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
It's top 5 favorite movies ever.
Yep.
And so my expectations are high, but I also, he's just so freaking cute. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, right now, to me, he can do no wrong. Now, if they overdo it, we'll see. But
you talking about David Hasselhoff?
Excited. Yeah, David Hasselhoff is super freaking cute. I would love to get a 1-to-1 scale David Hasselhoff, but like Baywatch Hasselhoff, like Hot Toys figure.
That's a whole different look into your psyche.
As long as it's pre-greased.
Well, obviously it's pre-greased. Yeah, I think that's fair. We'll stand by next week. You will get a full-on review.
You will.
And we'll see how this goes. But man, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I'm super stoked about. So
yeah.
And Tom Whalen did the pins, like a special pin set and a special glass that he did in conjunction with Mondo and Alamo Drafthouse. And so I managed to get those as well. So I'm really excited about that next week. Cool. Is that it? You gonna toss it over?
No, it's all you, man. Take it.
Man, there's a theme this week. It's a movie. So I got art and design, but I'm gonna talk about a movie real quick. It's a little movie that's got a little bit of a buzz during the Oscars called La La Land. And I believe it won Best Picture. Is that correct?
No. Nope.
Oh.
The host also thought it won Best Picture. So
the presenter.
But it did win.
you.
It did win 6. It did win 6 Oscars. It did win 6 Academy Awards. But we get to do something really exciting for this episode, and we get to talk about something that we're partnering with Hero Complex Gallery. So we've talked about them before. HCG. They do amazing gallery shows and partner with amazing artists. We talked with them. They are pushing out in conjunction with, today is the release, on release day, today is the release of La La Land on Blu-ray. Yep. And DVD and whatever, but it's the release for home box office. And in conjunction with that, they are doing a limited print release with some artists. And so at 10 a.m. Central Time, I believe it is. I believe it's 10 a.m. Central Time.
Pacific time.
Let me pull it up.
10 a.m. Pacific.
Okay. Pacific time, so 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's, do the math, that's 1 p.m. Eastern if you're an Eastern friend, and that's right at noon if you're Central. And then everyone else can figure out their stuff from there.
Mountain time.
But those are the ones that I care about. They are releasing prints from 2 different artists. So we've got Stan and Vince are the artists for a regular and a variant of Sebastian and Mia in the most epic intro. If you've seen the film, it's the entry. It's the start of the film where they're in the traffic jam and they're singing the song. And it's amazing. I was telling the guys before we started recording, the likeness on Emma Stone is spot on. I don't know that I've ever seen a print with the likeness being so uncanny. And she's got this fierce look on her face and she's dancing, and then you've got Ryan Gosling kind of off to the side a little bit, and he's kind of leaning up against the pole. It's a beautiful piece. There's a variant. There's like a midday piece and then a piece at dusk. It's beautiful. So it's really cool. And then the other one is a piece called City of Stars, and that's by the Patrick. The artist is Patrick Conan or Conan. I don't know how you would pronounce it. It's Connan. But this piece is beautiful and it's iconic. So if you've seen the movie, again, you know that they're up on the top of the Hollywood hills and they're doing this dance and they float up in the air. And it's this iconic look of them dancing in the air over top of the La La Land Hollywood sign from behind. So you're seeing the perspective from behind the sign and you're looking at them dancing over the sign. So it says La La backwards and you see the city in the background with all the lights, and it's beautiful. The colors are amazing. The screening on this, alone, I imagine is at least 6 to 50 colors because it's just beautiful. So these prints will go on sale today, like I said, at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So they range from $60 and $65. They're very, very affordable. But here's the really cool, exciting thing. We get the opportunity to reveal an exclusive piece that will be a variant that is, not only are you seeing, it's a variant of the City of Stars piece, but not only are you seeing from behind the sign, they've also taken all of the text, like the movie poster text, and flipped it. Yeah, they flipped it all, so it's all backwards. So it looks like you're looking from the backwards perspective through to the scene. It is super cool. It's very fun. It's the actual what you'll be looking at if you're seeing. Yeah, if you're seeing the episode artwork for this episode, that is the exclusive, and they'll be rolling that out. So you heard it here first, folks, and only here. I guess that was nerdy, but it's fine.
Was that your papes?
Yeah. Come on over here. See, I'm gonna show you something special. It's late. I'm so tired. It's fine. We'll get through it. But check it out. It's gonna be a great time. Here's
the problem. I'm gonna have to buy at least 2 prints, if not 3 prints. They did an incredible job on these.
They knocked it out of the park.
I mean,
this is an official release. I mean, this is in conjunction with Lionsgate. It's not these are real deal. These are officially licensed, and you'll want to go to hcgart.com. And you can find the links in our show notes to find all these things to get specifically to it. But they will sell out because they are beautiful and they're tied to this movie. So you want to check it out. Set your clock.
And I own a few HCG pieces. The quality is everything they do is amazing.
Yep.
This may be these may be the most stunning pieces I've seen from them. I just think these are incredible.
I have a piece that hangs directly in front of me every time we podcast, and it's literally one of my favorite pieces, and it's by 8 Meets Girl, and it's with Hero Complex. And we couldn't be happier than to partner with Adam Smasher and the entire team out at Hero Complex. Thanks for letting us have this opportunity.
Yeah.
But you want this artwork in your house. Even if you just happened to see the movie once and it was like you watched it as you passed by the movie theater, this artwork needs to live in your house. It's beautiful. So that's it for my master category, which I think means that's it for this episode. A huge thanks to Tom Whalen for joining us. We always love having him on. We're excited to see him, as well as a ton of other amazing artists this weekend at Mondo for the Disney show. I believe it's called the Never Grow Up show, and it's their official show with Oh My Disney, Cyclops Print Shop, right, and Mondo. So it's a big show. Patrick's going to be out there. I'll be out there, and then a ton of amazing artists. We will be tweeting out and Instagramming out details for the official M of One podcast meetup, which will be a great time. So if you're in Austin for that show, come out and hang out. It's going to be a great time. You can find us on mofonepodcast.com, right, Patrick?
Yes, our website, where you can, on the homepage, it links out to our hot seats that we're running all this month and next month. We have links to purchase the artist coloring book. You can check out our archive that has just all the amazing episodes, the amazing artists that we've talked to, since the beginning of the dawn of time, which I'm sure is a phrase that's commonly used.
Yeah.
And then also there's a button for Slack, so you can click that. That'll take you to the Slack invite, so you can request an invite, which will just be generously granted. No, that sounds ridiculous, but you can join the Slack community, hang out with what are we, 175 other artists.
Yeah.
Just amazing people. So
it's a great time. So you want to join us on there. And you can also, when you do that, go to iTunes and subscribe to the show. When you do that, we will come to you twice a week, every single week, one of these kinds of episodes, and then one with an incredible artist telling their story and answering a ton of fun questions. This week, you don't want to miss out on that, so go ahead and subscribe in iTunes now. Then, once you subscribed, you can rate and review. When you do that, it helps us a ton. Doesn't cost you any money, costs you very little time, and it's just a big help for us. So go ahead on there and do that, and we will read your review if you leave one. And we've made good on that promise, right?
Yep.
yeah, absolutely.
Nothing outstanding presently.
I mean, I appreciate everyone that contributes. I've been a bit bummed because I want to read more reviews. I kind of miss having to force Luke to do voices. So anybody that can help on that front of making Luke read something in a weird voice.
And also Patrick's birthday. His birthday. Patrick's birthday is next week. So go
my
and
30th. So send me something.
We want to get 30 new reviews for Patrick's 30th. So we'll just spend an entire episode reading reviews. So if you haven't left one, head over to iTunes and do that. It'll be a big help. And if you're overseas, let us know that you did it. Shoot us the content because we don't get to see that. So shoot it over to us. I think there's 1,000 other ways you can connect with us. Instagram is a great one too. Again, we said we're going to put out the details of our meetup on there. Follow us on there. It's M of One Podcast. It's M of One Podcast everywhere. You can support the show on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/M of One Podcast. Give $1, give $5. There will be a fun bloopers this month. I can promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
Just solely from how the recording went tonight. There will be much bloopers. So for the cost of a cup of coffee each month, you can support us and get some fun content that's bonus. I think, but for now, we're just going to get out of here.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Luke.
And for Tom Whalen, peace out.
Bye.
Hold on to your butts.
I almost said Walking on Sunshine. I actually had it, and then I took it away.
Walking on sunshine.
It goes,
If this episode music isn't Dust in the Wind, I swear.
every episode we kick off the episode saying episode multiple times.
We did it this time too.
And we're continuing that tradition right now. We like to kick off every episode. Nope.